Alright, so my thoughts on the new Mavic 3. This is the Mavic 2 Pro. This is going to be my initial thoughts on the Mavic 3 Pro. I'm not going to buy it, at least not as we stand. I'm on the side of the road right now. I just finished flying for a job. Here's a couple personal photos I took from it just for this video. A little bit of commercial real estate, nothing major. Let's get out of the road and go somewhere quieter where we can talk. Woo! Alright, so what's going on? So today we're going to be talking about the DJI Mavic 3 that just got released not that long ago. Probably just a few days ago. So, I'm probably not going to be buying this drone for my business or for personal use or for any reason. And I want to talk about why. The first reason is the cost. Actually, hang on. Before I get into the cons and why I'm not going to buy it, I want to talk about some of the specs off the drone, just right off the top of my head. I'm not going to go into super detail about this. So it's a 20 megapixel camera. I mean, it has two different cameras on it. It is a micro four thirds sensor, and it shoots in 20 megapixels, 5K video, and it has a 46-minute flight time. It comes in two options, or two base options, the base model and the Cine version, and of course you have the Fly More package as well that you can buy with it. Now, this drone also has two cameras built into it. I think I mentioned that just a moment ago. It has a zoom lens built into it, and then your standard focal length. Now, the 20 megapixel photos are great, and the micro four thirds sensor is going to be fantastic for low light. You know, you're going to have now you're going to have a flying micro four thirds camera. That's awesome. Now, why won't I be buying this drone for my business or for my use in filmmaking or photos or anything? First reason is the cost. $2,200 for the base model. That's pretty expensive. Granted, it's not unjustifiable. I understand why it's that expensive, and I'm not discrediting the cost. I think the cost is fair. Now, for the Cine version, you're looking at paying between $4,000 and $6,000, depending on if you get the Fly More package with it and so forth and so on. These numbers are really rough, by the way. These are not accurate representations of the cost of the drone. I have seen a wide variety of prices that people have paid for this drone and the different options with it. Now, $2,200 would be fairly cheap for that powerful of a drone if my business was oriented around drones only. Drones were my primary source of income, my primary job, my primary in general. Now, in my particular use case, drones are secondary. Actually, I think they would qualify more as third in place, actually. I don't fly drones as much as I used to, and I don't use them professionally as much as I used to. They're more of a secondary or third option in my toolkit. The next, and quite possibly the biggest reason that I won't be spending that kind of money on this drone is because if I'm going to pay that much money for a drone, I would rather pay a little bit extra and get the Inspire series of drones, or get an M200 or M300 or greater quality of drone, because that way I can add interchangeable lenses or interchangeable cameras. It's kind of baffling to me to pay that much for a drone and only be stuck with the one camera, or in this case, it's sort of two cameras. I don't see, the cost isn't justifiable to me in my particular use case. In my case, this is primary and then drones are secondary. Honestly, I'm just really happy with the Mavic 2 Pro. The 2 Pro does everything I need it to do and then some. 20 megapixel photos, 4K video. I get about 25 minutes of flight time out of it, which is more than adequate for what I use it for. I don't have a legitimate need for the upgrade. Now, will that change in the future? Maybe. If my drone decided to, just die, or if I crashed it or something otherwise happened to it, then the Mavic 3 might be a worthwhile investment as an upgrade. But for now, I'm more than happy with the Mavic 2 Pro. It does everything I need it to do. It's got a 1-inch sensor, 20 megapixel photos, same resolution, just a smaller sensor. I never shoot at night. Actually, I don't want to say never, but it's very rare. I am licensed, so I can shoot at night if I want to, but where I live, there's almost no need for it. I don't live near any major cities, any major towns, or anything where filming at night and the lights of the city and stuff would be important. The only time I use my drone is during the day. So there really isn't much need to justify that kind of cost. Something that would be more justifiable in that cost range for me would be an EOS R5 or an R6 camera body. That would make more sense for me. I would get a lot more use. Even a dual sport motorcycle. That would give me more value and more purpose and more use than this drone will. But with that said, these don't necessarily apply to everybody. But these are things you should probably consider if you're thinking about buying this drone, or if you're leaning towards buying this drone, or even if you just have the new thing buzz and you just want to buy the new thing because it's new. It doesn't suit me. It doesn't fill any niche that needs to be filled. I don't have a need to shoot 5K because I don't deliver video in 4K. I have never in my professional career thus far had a client request for a video to be shot or delivered in all 4K. I do offer that as an option. I just don't see the need for it. If you're viewing something on your cell phone or even a TV or a laptop screen, you're going to have to be inches away from the screen in order to tell the difference between good 1080 and 4K. The highest resolution that I shoot at is 2.7K. I have almost never had a need to shoot a higher resolution than that. And the few instances were just to shoot 4K so I could zoom in further. And that's it. So yeah, that's essentially it. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Those are my opinions.